Spirit of Unity's online ministry. My name is Reverend Alicia Leslie, and today I'm continuing my series, It Works If You Work It. We're talking about healing. Now, healing is a huge subject. We're talking about a very, very narrow focus on that, and that is our part. Because whereas God has the ability, God can and will heal all things, we also play a very important part. I'd like to share a story from the Gospel of John chapter 5. Jesus is in an area of Jerusalem called Bethsaida, and in there is a pool of what is considered to be miraculous waters. Every time the waters bubble up, the first person who steps into those waters is healed of whatever ailment they have. Well, clearly there were people all around the edges of the water waiting to be healed. Jesus noticed a man that clearly had been there for a long time. In fact, he'd been there for 38 years. And Jesus looked at him and he said, "My son, you look like you've been here for a very long time." And the man said, "Yes, I have, but I can't get to the waters. There is no one to pick me up, to take me. And when the waters are troubled and I try to get my way over there, someone else always steps in before me." And Jesus said to the man, "Do you want to be made well?" And the man looked at him. I mean, you'd think, well, yeah, of course I want. That's why I'm here. But Jesus looked into his very soul and said, "Do you want to be healed?" And the man said, "Yes." And he said, "Then pick up your bed and walk." And the man picked up his mat and walked. Wouldn't it be wonderful if all healings could be that easy? What if they could? We've got lots of healing to be done in our lives and the world we live in. I mean, our life could be absolutely perfect, but until everything that is in the world, everything in creation is perfect, we will not be fully and completely healed, because we heal as individuals and as a collective whole. Of course, we want to be healed. Healing requires a couple of things. One of the things is the belief. Yes, I can be healed. God can heal me. And because if we don't have the belief, it's not going to happen. There's like that old saying, the operation was a success, the patient died anyway. We've also heard wonderful stories about people who've overcome all kinds of challenges, physical challenges, terminal disease. Now, I want to be real clear about one thing here. If you or anyone that you know, especially a person of deep faith, has had a chronic, or even in some cases, some of those we love, had a terminal condition that they died from, that doesn't mean God doesn't love them. It doesn't mean their prayers weren't good enough. It didn't mean any of that stuff. It is what it is. Just because the healing didn't happen once, doesn't mean the healing won't happen. I had a very miraculous healing one time. I was in a workshop. The workshop was actually a prosperity workshop, but a part of it was called, this was very popular back in the 70s and 80s, it was called breath work. So it's a matter of laying on the floor and doing these breathing exercises and everything. Well, at that time I figured, number one, I could sure use some prosperity in my life, but I also had a physical condition that was bothering me terribly and increasingly. And the problem was a pain in my right hip. It would hurt me so bad that I could hardly slide in and out of the car to get behind the wheel. And when I walked, I even started limping. I didn't know what it was, and I'm not going to go to the doctor and all that. So I kind of tolerated it. And at one point, the day I went to this workshop, I was really getting ready to say, I've got to go to the doctor for this, and I hope they put me in traction, because I don't want to deal with this pain. Whatever it is, it's got to stop. Well, I never mentioned it to anyone. I went into the workshop. As a part of the breath work, we were I was breathing, the woman who was conducting the workshop was walking around the edges, and she would see that my hands, which were on the floor, had actually raised up off the floor. And she would just walk by and touch them, pushing them back down to the floor, and walk around again. Next time she'd come around, my hands are up off the floor again, and she'd just push them down and walk past. Well, kind of fed up with this process, I leaned over and I put my hands on my hips, just so that the lady wouldn't come by and push them anymore. And they didn't rise up from there. But as this was going on, I came from a very traditional religious background, and so I'm thinking, is this hoo-hoo stuff? What is this stuff that's going on here in this breath work thing? But I decided to open to God and God alone, and I said, Spirit, God, what you want me to hear, I will hear. What you want me to do, I will do. I am in your hands. You are greater than anything else. I am yours. Well, and a few minutes later, that part of the workshop was over and we all got up off the floor. I noticed when I stood up that my hip and my leg no longer hurt. Not one bit, not one whit. And I was like, whoa. And I don't want to say anything to anybody because, I don't know if you ever went to one of these workshops where these people, and every time, oh my God, I had the most wonderful experience. They always have the most wonderful experience, and you think, well, what's wrong with me? I didn't have that kind of experience. I didn't want to be that way. But at one point, they were asking for input, and I said, well, I had this little pain. I had a really bad pain in my hip, and in the course of the workshop, it went away. I don't know why it's gone. And she said, well, that's good. That's miraculous healing. You let Spirit flow through you. You let God work in you. You opened yourself to the possibility. And I thought, I wasn't even thinking about the healing. Well, I'd been thinking about the healing before I came in, thinking this is pain. I didn't think this workshop was going to do anything. But it's not so much the workshop that did it. It was taking that time to make that connection to God, to put myself fully and entirely in God's hands and let it be. I was told later by the woman that I had healing hands and I should come back and, do some more work with her and everything, which at that point in time I just never did. But I think we all have healing hands. I think that if we have a healing consciousness, we can help ourselves and others to heal. Now, I would be lying if I didn't say that in the years that passed since that time, I did not get myself some colds or the flu or this kind of malady or a frozen shoulder or other kind of stuff. But I will never forget that healing moment that I had when I put myself fully and completely in God's hands. I am yours. Do with me, Lord, as you will. I know this is not only true for me, this can be true for you. Please remember, if you don't have a healing miracle, it does not mean healing is not happening. You don't know what purpose you are here to overcome. Very often, we don't even know some of the healings we need. If you've been bouncing checks right and left, or can't seem to get ahead in life, or can't seem to get the job you want, or can't seem to get where you want to be, I believe there is something in your mind, in your heart, in your soul that is coming up for healing. What I invite you to do from the bottom of my heart and soul is open your mind, open your heart, and say, Dear God, I am yours and yours alone. Work in me and through me to bring forth my perfection, that I may serve you. One of my very favorite lines in a song says that I may be you in this world for your glory, that I may give glory to you, that others may see the works that I do and give glory to God. I hope some words I said today may have touched and healed a part of your life, or opened you up to the healing potential for yourself, for those you love, by entrusting our lives and the lives of all we love to God's tender, loving hands. And now, I know for you, as I know for me, that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And I'll see you next time when we look at It Works If You Work It. Religion and church, you got it. I'm kind of excited about it. I hope you are too. Till then, God bless you good.